Daniel Molgan, and Happy New Year, everybody. This is it. That's it. January 1st, 2025 is here. And quite frankly, I couldn't be any happier to be here with you guys to celebrate this amazing moment. And that's right, guys. We made it to yet another year, and I got some good news for you. 2025 is the year of change. And I'm talking about global change in almost every aspect of our lives, politically, socially, economically, and almost every aspect. That's right, even technologically. We'll be seeing a lot of changes. And more importantly, this year is hopefully going to be one of the best years of our lives. And in this podcast today, I want to actually encourage you guys to start setting your New Year's resolution. Yeah, you know me. Always I'm saying it. The new year means New Year's resolution. I'm here to help you do just that. So let's get started. Why is it so important to start the year with your New Year's resolution? I know it's like cliche. Oh my gosh, you guys are always talking about this. Set this goal. Think about that. Do this. I set my goals. I want to lose weight. I want to make more money. I want to find a better partner. I want to find this. I want to do that. You see, we've been told that we have to set our New Year's resolution, but sometimes we ourselves don't even believe it. We feel like we should just do it because we should do it. Well, guess what? If you do not set a New Year's resolution, you're telling yourself that this year is not going to be any different from the last. So what's the point? You see, if you want to make the most of your life, you have to understand that you need to plan things in advance. They say proper prior planning prevents poor performance. So let me ask this question. Do you want to have a year of poor performance? I don't think that's what you want. If you wanted, you wouldn't be here listening to me. So you want to make the most of the coming year. You want to make sure that 2025 is going to be one of the best years of your life, and that requires you to start planning that year. Because the chances are, if you go throughout this year and just act haphazardly and randomly, what ends up happening is you will simply not make it to the end of the year achieving most of the goals you wanted to achieve. So that is why it's extremely important. Yeah, it's banal. Yeah, it's so cliche, so cheesy. Dan is here again telling me to set my New Year's resolution again. He's been telling me these things for a long time. I know. But guess what? This is what you need. It's true that we've been telling you these things for a long time. All of our friends, if you check, our pages, we've all been telling you to start setting goals and especially to take your New Year's resolutions seriously. The reason is, if you do not do that, the chances are you'll end up living someone else's life. You see, as you scroll through social media, as you watch all these ads, as you follow these trends and, comment on those viral videos, your attention, your mind is being swayed away from what truly matters. And that is why if you want to make the most of your life, you have to simply discipline your mind to stay focused on track towards your own goals, not the goals of advertisers. Let me repeat that. If you want to make the most of your life, you should keep focused on your goals, not the goals of the advertisers or the politicians or other people, social media influencers, mass media. Because if you don't take that kind of responsibility, believe me, they will take your attention to where they want it to go. Which is why today, I'm here to recommend you to start writing down your New Year's resolution on this beautiful day. It is the new year. We're all happy and excited, feeling jolly. Yes, 2025. And there's no better time to sit down and to write the kind of goals you should write for yourself. Why do I say this? Because it's proven that when you're in a greater emotional state like today, new year, you are going to be able to feel much better about your future. Thus, you will set more ambitious goals for the coming year in all facets of your life. And that's exactly the kind of goals you want to set. We've talked about this before throughout this, podcast. On many occasions, on many episodes, I've said that if you want to make the most of your life, you have to set big goals because small goals rarely give you enough motivation to achieve them. And even if you do achieve them, you're not going to have that much reward. So that cycle won't get repeated. Your brain says like, yeah, well, I set a goal that wasn't that, big of a deal and I achieved it and I don't feel any reward. So what's the point? Why should I repeat it? And it won't repeat it. So you stop doing it. On the other hand, if you set the kind of goal that makes your brain like, woo, oh my goodness, I could really do that. Oh my, what would have happened? Oh shoot, And once that kind of goal is set for you and then you achieve it, the brain is going to be in pure state of joy. And that is going to lead to a lot of amazing things down the line. So the first point that I want to make today is if you're setting your New Year's resolution, do not set them realistically. Yeah, you heard me. Do not set realistic goals. I know you've been told that the proper method of goal setting is the SMART method. It must be SMART, specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and of course, time-bound. These are all true. But here, when I was talking about the word SMART, did I use the word realistic? No, I said specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-bound. Throughout none of these words, you heard the word realistic. Now, let me tell you why. Why is it so dangerous to set your New Year's resolution realistically? Because when you set realistic goals, you are basing that judgment on your current level of ability as well as your opinion regarding your past performance. In a sense, you're comparing yourself with yourself right now and your previous level of competence and ability, but fail to take into account how much growth you can undergo in the coming year. That is why setting realistic goals is actually shooting yourself in the foot, because when you do that, you fail to take into consideration how much farther you can stretch yourself and how much more you can do. On the other hand, when you set unrealistic goals that are way out of your comfort zone, you might feel like, oh, come on, man, what you talking about, man? I can't do that. That's not for me. Well, let me tell you something. If you do not set that kind of goal, you will not find the motivation necessary to actually achieve them, nor will this process repeat itself. Because guess what happens? Let's say you set a crazy New Year's resolution. I want to lose, 100 pounds, or I want to, 10x my income, or I want to do this and that. And you feel like, come on, that's too much. Well, is it better to fail on achieving a big goal and feel like, well, I gave it my best shot. I really stretched myself, but I didn't actually do it, but it was good. Or you want to achieve a goal that is meager and easy to attain and say like, well, I achieved it. So yeah, is that all there is? I don't know. If I were you, I would have preferred to fail on a very difficult goal than to achieve a goal that is not even that exciting. Why? Because here's what happens. When you set big goals, you give your brain this command that I will achieve this. And the reason I have set this goal is because I believe that this is my future potential. So you're betting on yourself, not against it. You're saying that I believe that I am capable of more, and that whatever I've done and demonstrated so far is only a portion of what I'm truly capable of. Again, you're not saying all these things verbatim, but when you set a bigger goal, that's what you're implying to yourself subconsciously. And guess what happens? When you do that, your brain actually is like, well, maybe this guy's got a point. Maybe he really is capable of that. Maybe she really can accomplish these goals. Oh my goodness, these people are super duper. Well, that's exactly what happens. When you focus on setting these types of crazy goals, you invite many more opportunities to your life. You enhance your sense of self-esteem. And guess what? You're actually a lot more likely to achieve them. And you'll be surprised. Many people have set crazy New Year's resolutions. And after about a few months, they just, they put it somewhere, they forgot about it. And these guys come back after a few months. And then, oftentimes people tend to write their New Year's resolution on a piece of paper somewhere and they just keep it like in their library and whatnot. They come back and after a few months, 4, 5, 6, 7 months, they just randomly stumble upon that. They just take a look, it's like, oh my goodness, more than 80% of all these goals have already been accomplished and I had no idea. That's exactly what happens when you set the right goals for yourself. That's exactly what happens when you program your mind at the very beginning of the year. That's right, January 1st, today. When you set that kind of goal for yourself, this is what ends up happening. That brain of yours says like, holy moly, I think we can accomplish a lot more than we thought. And guess what? You will accomplish a lot more. That is why the first step in setting your New Year's resolution is to tell yourself, no matter what happens, I'm going to set big goals. That's very important. So prepare that. Number 2, once you are committed to, setting crazy goals, then tell yourself, I will make all these goals as in I statements. For example, don't write the goal, my New Year's resolution goal is to lose 200, for example, pounds. I mean, if you're in that situation where you have to lose 200 pounds, then I'm really sorry for you. But again, we're just giving an example. So in that situation, you should simply write as if the goal has already been attained. So use I statements. Let's say right now you're about 350 pounds, for example, and you feel extremely, lethargic and tired all the time because of obesity. And you say, all right, so now in the year 2025, I weigh, for example, 200 pounds by at the end of the year. You see, now this statement is an I statement, and your subconscious mind believes that. It believes that you are already someone who is 200 pounds, not 350 pounds, okay? And that's exactly the kind of goal you want to set for yourself. You write them in I statements as if they are already true, because the subconscious mind doesn't know the difference between these I statements. It perceives and takes it to be the truth, and therefore changes your behavior in the long run to match that inner ideal. So use I statements. I earn this amount by the end of the year. I accomplish this and this. I get this certificate, or I have this thing. And once you use these I statements as if you've already accomplished them, this programs deep in your subconscious mind to achieve them. Finally, some say, Dan, should I share my New Year's resolution with other people? Well, as far as I am concerned, and you probably know me, I'm a huge fan of sharing your goals publicly. Now, the reason is that when you share your goals publicly, you now have social accountability. If you tell everybody else you're going to lose that amount of pounds, and if they don't, follow up on this matter occasionally to say, oh, so what are you doing now? Are you losing weight? Then you might not have as much social, pressure to keep on keeping on. So in most cases, I'm actually a huge fan of sharing your goals to other people. Some say, no, Dan, there's a research that says when you share your goals with other people, your brain thinks that you've already accomplished it, so it just has no more motivation to do it. Well, that's technically true. There have been certain researchers saying this, but, and that's a big but, most of the time when I look around people who are achieving their goals, I realize those who share their goals publicly, especially when they're grandiose and like crazy, are actually a lot more likely to achieve their goals because they have already burned the bridge towards nothingness. You see, when you don't tell anybody about your goals, then there is nothing that has to be accomplished. Because imagine you really are planning to, do something, learn a new skill, start a new business, obtain certain certificates and whatnot. If nobody knows about it and you don't accomplish it, well, nobody knew about it. I didn't do anything about it. Nothing happened. Who cares? That's exactly right. You're going to tell yourself, who cares? Because nobody knew about it anyways. So the moment things get tough and rough, the moment you get tired or bored, you say, you know what? Actually, I haven't told anybody about this. And now after about trying this thing for about 5-10 minutes, I realize it's actually very hard and not that fun anyways. And nobody knows about it anyway. So why bother, man? Why bother? And guess what? You don't pursue that goal. On the other hand, imagine you wanted to, let's say, lose some weight. And you told all your friends, guys, listen, this is the new year. It's January 1st, and I want to make a promise right here, guys. I'm going to lose 100 pounds this year. I was like, oh my gosh, 100 pounds in 1 year. Are you kidding me? Are you out of your mind? You're going to die. You're going to starve yourself to death. You're going to hear all that kind of, comment. But guess what? Maybe you will not lose 100 pounds this year. But once you make that kind of public statement and your friends know about it, and they see you after a few months and say, oh, wait a minute, Johnny, have you lost any weight? You don't seem like you've lost much weight. You feel like, oh shit, I told these guys that I'm going to lose weight and I didn't do anything. Oh my goodness. So now I'm going to be ashamed of myself. I got to do something right now. I'm going to sign up for the gym right now. You see, we call this social accountability. When you have social accountability, it is proven that you will do more. You'll go out of your way to accomplish a goal that you would not have done otherwise. because you don't want to have that public shame on you. You see, when you declare something to everybody else, it's kind of like burning all the bridges. When you tell them you're going to lose that amount of weight, earn that amount of money, do this or that, now you can't just forget about it. Because guess what? Sooner or later, you're going to bump into some of those friends and family members and they say, oh, what happened to that goal of yours? And boom, at that time, you say like, oh, well, I'm working on it, even though you haven't done anything. But guess what? After that conversation, you're a lot more likely to go and work on that goal. So please share your goals publicly, but make sure you do so with those that you trust and have a good level of rapport with. You're right. Sometimes sharing crazy goals with the wrong people is the exact opposite of what you want to do, because sometimes they tend to be a little bit jealous. Like, who the hell do you think you are, man? Why do you want to have that kind of goal? You got your heads in the sky, man. It's too much. So you don't want to share your goals with just about anybody. But when you trust someone, somebody's a dear friend of yours, a good family member, somebody that you can count on, somebody who cares about you, who wants the best for you, there's no reason not to share that goal with them. Because in that situation, now you have social accountability and you're a lot more likely to go and achieve those goals. So to recap, number one, you got to have a New Year's resolution, guys. It's the new year, so you got to have one. Number two, set them crazy high. And number three, share them publicly. Yes, you heard it. I know it's so hard for some of you guys, like, oh, I don't know about that, man. Share those goals publicly and see what it does to your level of motivation. All right, guys, that's all the time we had for Happy New Year. It's such a pleasure to be able to have this show for so long, and now that's going to be our first episode of the year 2025. And I am super happy to be here to congratulate all of you for the year 2025 and hope that you will have an amazing New Year holiday and hopefully start setting your New Year's resolution. All right, guys, have a good one. This was Daniel Molgan, and this was Beyond the Present Podcast.